The send-off of NASA's Explorer tests was like the beginning of an astonishing excursion into space. It demonstrated that we can keep an eye on Earth as well as everything in our nearby planetary group and beyond. Even after 46 years, these marvelous space apparatus are still providing scientists with new and shocking information about space. Although their memory is 3 million times smaller than that of our cell phones, and their speed is 1,000 times slower than our fastest 5G web connection, these incredible tests still lead the way in exploring space. Now, Explorer 1 has made an incredible discovery in interstellar space, challenging all that we assumed we knew about the universe. It found something so rare that scientists are left scratching their heads. But what exactly did it find, and how does it redefine our understanding of the universe? On a special day, September 5, 1977, from a place called Cape Canaveral in Florida, something astonishing happened. Explorer 1 began its journey into space, set off by a strong rocket called Titan II. Only 15 days later, on August 20, 1977, Explorer 2 joined in, beginning its adventure into the universe. Their main work was to examine the large gas planets in our planetary group like Jupiter and Saturn and the moons around them. But guess what? These space voyagers went far beyond. They ventured into our vast solar system, breaking lots of records on their incredibly lengthy trip. They've been going longer than any other space apparatus ever, and they've gone farther from Earth than anything humans have made before. They even went into a place called interstellar space, which is like going into a whole different part of our system that no one explored before. These space trailblazers, Explorer 1 and Explorer 2, are more than 12 billion miles away from us now. Still, they continue to amaze scientists with the astonishing things they're discovering out there. They've recently found something so unexpected that no one saw it coming. The Explorer twin tests have done some awesome stuff over a long time. Back, they checked out the moons of Jupiter and Saturn and completely amazed scientists. People used to think these moons were boring and full of holes, like our moon, but apparently not. They're buzzing with activity. Explorer 2 was the first of the twins to drop by Uranus in 1986, and just 3 years later, it zoomed past Neptune. But here's the interesting part. It's the only rocket that has ever done that. As these rockets move forward on their amazing journey, NASA is doing some tricks to ensure they keep working. They switched off certain things they didn't need, like extra parts and heaters, to save power. That way, these rockets would be able to continue pressing onward until at least 2030. For the scientists and engineers who've been part of this incredible adventure from the very beginning, it's a mix of happy and sad feelings. They worked hard, and now, when they thought the Explorer missions were nearly done, an amazing discovery emerged from space. The information sent back by Explorer 1 and its twin shuttle has become a motherlode for scientists. They ignited lots of discoveries and got people excited about space. These are two shuttles that were built extra carefully, like stable platforms, so they could take clear pictures and gather data while zooming through space. Even before they reached the outer planets, their photos were already knocking scientists' socks off. Explorer 1 started sending pictures of Jupiter, even though it was still far away from the planet. People at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory got excited when they saw the first pictures of Jupiter's swirling clouds and the famous Great Red Spot. However, the pivotal moment came when the explorers found something astonishing on Jupiter's moon Io. This moon, assuredly bigger than Earth's moon, turned out to be the most active volcano in our entire nearby planetary group. Explorer 1's instruments picked up strange signals from Io, and the pictures they took showed massive volcanic eruptions and stuff flying out into space. One of Io's volcanoes, called Pele, erupted massively higher than even Mount Everest and covered an area nearly as big as France. The explorers combined took more than 33,000 pictures of Jupiter and its moons. They showed how stunning Jupiter is in all the different scenes on its moons. Another big surprise was finding out Jupiter has rings. Although they're not very bright, this discovery made Jupiter even more interesting. Also, Explorer 2 found that Europa, one of Jupiter's 53 moons, has a thick ice shell more than 60 miles thick. These revelations made scientists rethink what they thought about these distant objects in space, and got them curious about whether icy moons, like Europa, could be places where life could exist. As the explorers left Jupiter, they got a boost from the planet's gravity that behaved like a strong kick, sending them towards Saturn. This kick was particularly significant because it helped them break free from the sun's pull and keep going into space. Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 went their ways after that, heading to new places. Explorer 1 got close to Saturn's moon Titan, which has a kind of orange haze around it. Scientists got curious about Titan's secrets, so they studied its complicated chemistry. Then, Explorer 1 turned away from other planets and started going beyond our solar system. On the other hand, Explorer 2 had some amazing adventures too. In 1986, it flew by and found 10 new moons, adding to the total count. 3 years later, it reached Neptune, showing us the amazing things about this faraway ice giant. Explorer 2 even measured winds on Neptune going as fast as 1,000 miles per hour, the fastest ever on a planet in our solar system. When the shuttle got close to Neptune, only 2,918 miles away, it gave us new and stunning insights about this distant world. Neptune's biggest moon, Triton, turned out to be one of the coldest places in our planetary group, with temperatures dropping to a freezing less than -391 degrees Fahrenheit. Triton also had these cool ice volcanoes that shot out nitrogen gas and icy stuff into its thin air. These revelations made us realize how unique and fascinating the planets and moons in our solar system can be, even the farthest ones. Imagine a space adventure story, and one person who had a big impact in pushing it along was the famous astronomer Carl Sagan. He was part of the team that took pictures for the Explorer mission, and he wanted to snap one last set of pictures before switching off the cameras. These photos would be like a special gift for everyone on Earth, a last look at our home from far out in space. Sagan didn't give up, and it paid off. On Valentine's Day in 1990, Explorer 1 turned its camera back towards the interplanetary group and took 60 pictures. The most famous one, known as the pale blue dot, was taken from 3.8 billion miles away, making it the farthest picture of our planet ever taken. In the photograph, Earth looks tiny, like a light blue dot in the vast space around it. Even after 40 years, these shuttles are still out there, sending us valuable information from the farthest parts of space. Now, let's talk about something a bit outdated. The Explorer tests use an old 8-track system. Yes, you heard it right. 8-track tapes were a big deal during the 70s, and these tests are still rocking them. It just shows how smart the people who planned this mission were, making sure these old tapes could still get the job done. But why 8-track tapes, you may wonder? Well, that's a story worth hearing. In the beginning of exploring space, the kind of digital storage we use today was just starting, so they needed something tough and reliable to store important data, and those 8-track tapes turned out to be the perfect choice. What's even more interesting is that the information on these tapes isn't just ordinary music. It's valuable science data about planets, moons, and space between the stars. Yes, these tapes hold the answers to some of the biggest mysteries known to man. Now think about this. The Explorer shuttles face crazy things like extreme hot and cold temperatures, space radiation, and the void of space. But of course, these old Voyagers continue to thrive. It's like sending your grandparents on an adventure in Antarctica, and not only did they survive, but they thrived. The Explorer missions had this amazing move called gravity assist moves. Think about it like this. Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 two tough space pioneers, were on a big mission to explore the far out in our planetary group. To move to these distant places and gather valuable information, they needed a little help, something other than just their engines. Here's where gravity assists come in, and it's kind of like a space dance. Instead of just using their engines, these rockets did this cool celestial dance with some of the planetary group's big planets. They used the strong pull of these giants to slingshot themselves forward, saving fuel and getting the speed they needed to visit lots of different places. Gravity assists, also known as gravitational slingshots, are all about grabbing some speed from a planet as the shuttle goes by. Imagine Explorer 1 swinging up to Jupiter, a massive gas giant with a pull to match its size. The research center ensured Explorer 1 would pass Jupiter at the perfect point in speed. Jupiter's gravity pulled at the space, making it go quicker, like a space power-up. But here's the interesting part. There's an art to this move. If Explorer 1 had approached Jupiter the wrong way, it might have been a space disaster, sending the space apparatus way off base. Fortunately, the NASA specialists aced it, and the invaluable celestial dance with the planets was a big success. The degree of precision required is awesome, but guess what? The smart researchers and designers who planned this grand celestial dance didn't just get it right once, but many times. Thanks to these gravity assists, the Explorer shuttle got to visit numerous distant places, giving us unique pictures and data that astounded researchers.